Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see I'm joined today by our resident rules expert Fergus Bisset. Fergus, what are we chatting about in this video?
We're going to talk about 6 ways that you can get disqualified.
Ooh, that sounds like something I definitely want to find out about, and you definitely want to find out about, so you don't get disqualified from your next competition. We're here at the amazing Trump International Golf Links in Scotland. Let's get into it. Now Fergus, before a particularly important round, there might be the temptation among certain golfers to really want to get a sense and a feel for how the greens on the golf course are running. Now we're on the 18th green here at Trump International, the new course. You see the clubhouse is behind us. The temptation might be just nip over, have a little practice putt on this green to get a real sense of how the greens are running and get truly dialed in, ready before your round. I've got a feeling you might be about to tell me that that is not something that I'm allowed to do.
You're correct, you are not allowed to do that. Rule 5.2, you are not allowed to practice on the course prior to a stroke play round. As tempting as it might be, you're passing the 18th green. If you dropped a ball on this green and you took a practice stroke prior to teeing off in your round, you would get a general penalty of 2 shots in stroke play. If you were to have a second putt on this green, which you might well do, I think, if you were here, a second stroke on this green, you'd be disqualified.
Wow.
One strike and then you're out, unfortunately. But so, yeah, the advice is practice on the putting green. That's absolutely fine. Play shots on the practice ground. Don't come and play a shot on the 18th fairway. Don't come and play a putt on the 18th green. If you do that a couple of times, you're going to get DQ'd. So be careful.
There you go. Sound advice there. Leave all your practice to the practice putting green, not the actual golf course. Oh, Fergus, sorry I'm late. Terrible traffic. How late am I?
You're 4 minutes 20 seconds late.
Right, 4 minutes 20 seconds. Okay. So what does that mean for the? Am I okay? Can I tee off now, or what's the deal under the rules of golf?
You're going to get away with a mere general penalty.
Oh, 2 shots.
Rule 5.3. If you arrive on the tee up to 5 minutes late, you receive a general penalty, which in stroke play is obviously 2 shots.
Oh.
If you were 5 minutes late, or more than 5 minutes late, you would be disqualified.
Right.
Unless the committee deemed that there were exceptional circumstances. I'm afraid,
well, the traffic was terrible.
I'm afraid traffic isn't going to cut it.
It's not going to cut it?
I think if you had had to give medical assistance at a traffic incident, then that would be exceptional circumstances. If there had been a fire, there would be exceptional circumstances.
Right.
Bad traffic, it doesn't normally cut the mustard as
Really?
an exceptional circumstance.
Oh, terrible news. So, well, we've got to make a par, and then that's going to turn into a double bogey.
Yeah, as long as you tee off quite quickly.
Okay, yeah, I better get a move on. But just before we do, what about teeing off early? Because I think that the similar rules apply.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think most people would probably be aware that teeing off late is going to incur a penalty and perhaps disqualification. But yeah, you're right. Teeing off early is also will be penalised. You've got to tee off at the time that the committee has set for you to set off. If it's 10 o'clock is your tee time, you tee off at 10 o'clock. If you were to tee off at 1 minute to 10, that's a penalty, a general penalty. And if you were to tee off more than 5 minutes, or 5 minutes or more earlier than your allotted tee time, again, like with lateness, you'd be disqualified.
Wow.
It's an important one to note, and it's one that I don't know if that many golfers are aware of, but if you arrive and you think, it's nice and quiet, the sun's shining, it's 20 minutes before our tee time, and if you don't get permission from the committee to do so and you tee off, you're going to be disqualified.
There you go. So make sure you tee off on time, not too late, not too early, and therefore you won't get penalised any penalty shots or get disqualified. So yeah, I'm going to get my breath back. Well, Fergus, it was a decent result on this tee shot, but I'm not really happy with the flight. It was a little bit low. I think I would rather get a little bit more height on my tee shots during the rest of this round. I think that's going to really help me. Presumably, I'm allowed to get my wrench out, which I've got on me here, because obviously modern drivers, they've all got these adjustable loft sleeves so you can tweak it up or down if you want to. Presumably, I can just get my wrench out, give it a tweak, add some loft, and on we go.
Well, I mean, you can do that. You can tweak it and add some more loft, but if you play a shot with that adjusted club, you will be disqualified.
Oh. Oh dear.
So you might want to do that or you might not, it's up to you. But yeah, no, you can't adjust the playing characteristics of a club during a round. It's all in rule 4.1. And if you were to change the loft and the characteristics of that using the wrench, then played another shot, I'm afraid, yeah, that would be a DQ.
Oh dear. But presumably I'm allowed to make adjustments before the round. Obviously hitting some shots on the range, I don't like what I'm seeing, I can make some changes there.
Of course, yeah. Anything before the round to your heart's content, change it around. But once you've teed off on the first hole with it on a particular setting, that setting has to remain for the remainder of the round.
And what if I was to start changing the settings, sort of loosening the hosel, changing the cogs, and then you or another playing partner inform me of this rule?
Yep.
Am I still able to restore it back to its original settings?
You are. As long as you don't play a shot with it, even if you've changed it, if you move it back to how it was originally, you're going to be okay. It's just if you play a shot with an adjusted club that you're going to get yourself.
So there you go. Regardless of how badly you're driving the ball, you can't make adjustments to your driver during the course of a round. If you hit another shot with a new setting on your driver, you will be disqualified. Just a quick interlude to stop you right here and let me know in the comments, have you ever been disqualified or known someone else to get disqualified from a tournament, and why? I'd love to find out. And if you like the video, do click the like button and subscribe to the Golf Monthly YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our other videos around rules, tips, equipment, you name it, it's all there for your enjoyment. Right, let's get back to the video. Right, Fergus, I've driven my ball into the dunes here and it was buried in this thick rough. You can see I've marked the position of where it was up here because I want to take an unplayable drop.
Yeah.
I can't go back on the line because it's all dunes with thick rough. Don't want to go back there, so I want to take 2 club lengths, no nearer the hole. So you can see if I measure this out, it gets me to about here.
Yeah.
And if I was to drop the ball, and this isn't looking very good to me, there's a fairly nice spot here. So if I was to drop this ball here, now that's stayed just within the 2 club lengths area, which is fine. But what if I was to drop it, say I was to drop it again and it did this? Now you can see there, it's rolled outside the area, the 2 club lengths area, and I've significantly in a better position here versus here. What are the rules of golf say in this situation?
Well, you can't play it from there. You're outside of your 2 club length allowance. The ball has to stay within that. If you're to play it from there, you're playing it from a wrong place, which is in breach of rule 14.7. If you play it from there, you incur the general penalty. Now then you've got to think about whether you've gained a significant advantage or not, and in this case I certainly think it's clear that you have. You're either in the thick stuff or in a very playable position where you can get to the green. So if you played it from there and you finished the hole and you teed off at the next hole, you'd be disqualified,
right? Because
you had gained significant advantage and you hadn't corrected the mistake. If for instance your drop had moved outside of the 2 club lengths but had stayed in this unplayable area,
right,
and you'd played it, I think you wouldn't have gained significant advantage and you would just incur the general penalty. But in this one, you've got to correct the mistake because of the significant advantage that you've received there. And so it's an interesting one where you can end up being disqualified for playing from the wrong place and not rectifying.
And not rectifying, yeah. So there you go. Be careful when you're taking a drop and your ball rolls outside that relief area. If you've got a significant advantage, you must correct your mistake or you'll get disqualified. Right, Fergus, I've played my approach shot to this green and I've just went to mark my ball and realised that this is not actually my ball. It's the same make and number, hence me not really properly checking it down there. I've realised it's got a slightly different marking on it. So I know it's not mine. How is this going to get me into trouble with the rules of golf and potentially lead to a disqualification?
Well, it could lead to a disqualification and it's a situation where it's all to do with correcting the mistake. You've played under 6.3, you've made a stroke at the wrong ball, you are going to incur the general penalty. What you've got to do now is rectify the mistake and go back to the position where you played it from incorrectly, find your ball and complete this hole with your ball, adding on the general penalty of 2 shots stroke play. Now, if you had completed the hole with this ball and you had gone on to the next tee and teed off without realising that you had played the wrong ball, that's where you would be disqualified. If you don't correct the mistake you've made on that hole before you tee off on the next hole, you're going to be disqualified from competition. So really, it's quite an important one to make sure that you're always playing, and you've marked your ball correctly and you know it's absolutely your ball.
What would happen if, it's quite conceivably this would happen, that you've got two holes running quite close to each other, someone from another hole hits onto your fairway, they then come and hit my ball onto their hole, so my ball is gone essentially, so I'm not able to correct the mistake because someone else has played my ball. How do I proceed there?
Then you'd have to know or be virtually certain that somebody had played your ball. If you had seen them do it or they had admitted to having done it, then you could replace that ball on or estimate the spot where it had been and complete the hole with your ball. If you couldn't be virtually certain, 95% sure, that somebody had played your ball and your ball is no longer there, and when you go back you're going to face the situation where you've got a lost ball. You'll have 3 minutes to look for it. If you can't find it, you're then going back further.
Right, back to the tee.
Or if it was from the tee, then that's what you would have to do, yeah. Under stroke and distance, so it'd be more penalty shots to deal with.
Okay, really interesting. So there's quite a few ways you could potentially get disqualified if you play the wrong ball, but it goes without saying, try and correct your mistake if you can, and then hopefully you'll be able to finish your round. Right, Fergus, we finished our round, and I have to say what a very enjoyable round it was.
Indeed.
But you might think, or I most certainly might think, that we've reached the point where there's no risk of any further things I could do that would get me disqualified. But I've got a feeling you're about to tell us one more that happens after your round where you could be at risk of getting disqualified.
Yeah, rule 3.3b. Now that says that you've got to certify your scores at the end of your round and promptly return your scorecard to the committee. If you don't return your scorecard as soon as you're able to do so, within reasonable time, then you can be disqualified. And that doesn't mean you've got to be rushing into the clubhouse and hand it over as quickly as possible. But if there's an opportunity to do so, if the scorer is there, if the machine is available, you need to put your score in at the first available opportunity. Yeah. If you go for a 3-course lunch and then sort of 4 hours later think, I might hand my card in now, you're going to be disqualified.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that strict?
It is that strict. You've got to, the competition, for competition purposes, it's important for other competitors to know what the scores are. It's unfair for you to hold on to a score beyond any reasonable amount of time. So yeah, that's another way you can get DQ'd.
And we're talking sort of actually entering your score. If you've got a digital system at your club, we're not talking about the physical card, as in the process of putting that in the box. We're talking about entering your score on the digital system.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what your club system is. If the club system is that you put the scorecard into the box and it's left to a secretary or somebody else to input the scores, then that act is returning your card. Yeah. If you're required to put it in manually yourself into the system, that's what you've got to do in order to fully complete the proceedings.
There you go. So don't fall foul of that rule. You might think you've got away with any disqualifications during the round, but you could fall foul of that one right at the end if you don't hand your card in promptly. So there you have it. Those are the 6 ways you could get disqualified from your next competition. Hopefully you've learned something today and potentially prevented you from getting disqualified in a future competition, which would be incredibly frustrating, especially if you played very well. But that's all from me here and Fergus at Trump International. We'll see you next time.